two, one. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another exciting film journey here on Delusions of Grandeur. I am one of your hosts, and the only reason why we don't have an intro in front of us is because we had to stop paying the regular price. Everything went up $200, so StreamYard became uber expensive. And fuck you, StreamYard. But in any case, that being said, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Uh, since Tammy decided to go ahead and have us discuss the somewhat reboot of this particular animation into like a live action thingy. I decided to let her do that one first, and then go back and discuss the origins of where that movie got its concept from, and that is from this uh, uh, Japanese anime, and it's largely considered a Japanese anime, even though it's got a ton of people from both the U.S. and Japan as far as animators go, and it is famous for being in production hell for at least 10 years, and a lot of years in the 80s. Uh, in fact, production for this started in 1982, but it was originally a comic strip. Let's see if I can bring up the name of the comic strip dude here. The name of the comic strip dude was Windsor McKay, and he was alive from 1869 to about 1934. He was mostly known for the comic strip of Little Nemo that ran from 1905 to 1914, and then again from 1924 to about 1927. And he also was well known for, I guess, an animated film called Gertie the Dinosaur, which was an animation that was from 1914. So this particular animation is called Little Nemo Adventures in Slumberland, and it pens the directors as being Masami Hata, who is the lead Japanese director, and William Hurtz, who is the American director that they put in charge. Now, the screenplay was written by many people, but at the end of the day, it's credited to Chris Columbus. Which, if you know anything about Chris Columbus, he's the director of Home Alone, Gremlins, The Goonies,
Oh wow.
uh, and many other. Adventures in Babysitting was his debut film. And Richard Oughton. But there were other people that were involved in the screenwriting process over the years because it spent so much time in production hell. And Ray Bradbury, was the science fiction writer, was actually one of them who had some story ideas to throw towards this particular film as well. So there is that, and of course the music, the music, the stuff with the lyrics. That was put together by none other than the Sherman Brothers. Do you know who the Sherman Brothers were?
I think I heard the name somewhere, but I kind of forgot. Let's
Do you
see.
know the movie Mary Poppins?
Ah,
They
yeah.
were the ones who did the lyrics for the music behind the Mary Poppins.
Ah,
But that's not all. Let's see. So This was originally put together by a company in Japan by the name of Tokyo Movie Shinsa, and that is why it was often always considered an anime film. Uh, and some of those attached to this film worked at Disney, Lucasfilm, Warner Brothers Cartoons, Studio Ghibli, and those who expressed interest or were involved at some stage includes George Lucas, Chuck Jones, Ray Bradbury, as I mentioned, Isao Takahata, Brad Bird, Jerry Reese, Chris Columbus, Ken Anderson, Frank Thomas, Oliver Johnston, Paul Julian, Osamu Dezaki, the Sherman brothers, as I aforementioned, which would be Richard M. Sherman and Robert B. Sherman, and Hayao Miyazaki, who, as you know, eventually uh, brought about Studio Ghibli, um, who was working at Tokyo Movie Shinsa at the time, and Gary Kurtz. It was released in Japan on July 15th, 1989, by Toho Toa, and in the United States on August 21st, 1992, by the Hemdale Film Corporation for the dub. It received mixed reviews at the time and was a box office bomb, too. However,
Oh.
it did sell well on home video and has since become a cult film. So, that being said, I'm going to say what IMDb says about the film, uh, and then we'll go into first impressions. Sorry, I had a long introduction to this film, but I have a much love for this film because of its history and because of how many people were involved in it. So, IMDb says each night, young Nemo goes to Slumberland and has adventures and befriends the king of Slumberland, Morpheus. But one night, Nemo discovers Nightmare Land and the evil Nightmare King, throwing Slumberland and Nemo himself into danger. So, that being said, let's go with you, Boris. Was this a first time watch for you?
Yes, it was the first time, and I found it quite interesting. It was fairly enjoyable, but very different from what I thought it would be. When you said it was anime, and especially after I watched the Netflix version, I imagined it would be more of that it would have a more complex plot as anime movies sometimes do. This was very much simple, very child friendly, more than anime movies often are. I When it comes to the graphics, I also had different expectations. If I hadn't known it was Japanese, since I watched the English dub, it looked much more like a Disney movie or something like that. I could have never told it's Japanese if I didn't know it. Uh, but Yeah, it was still fairly interesting. I don't often watch movies like this, but they can still be fairly enjoyable even to adults. I mean, I myself am a fan of some other animated movies, so yeah, uh,
Well,
it was.
and after learning a little bit of the history, doesn't that interest you a little bit more into it?
Well, yes, you mean that it was based on the game and so on.
Well, no, it was actually based on a comic strip from like
Ah,
1905.
ah, holy hoot hoot! I forgot that.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's
but
like almost 100 years ago that little Nemo first existed. You know.
wow, indeed. The one thing I'd like to point out that somewhat confused me was near the end when the Statue of Liberty appeared on screen and Nemo said it was his hometown. I was very confused by that because if the movie is Japanese and the Statue of Liberty is obviously American, how can that be his hometown?
Well, New York would probably
Y-
be his hometown.
yes, yes.
But that's because it is a part Japanese, part American production. It's just it is more widely known as being an anime because of where it first started. It started off in that Japanese studio. So
Ah,
that I mentioned, and then because it needed money along the way, it needed people from the U.S. and so they probably had to piggyback onto each other and help each other out along the way. So
yeah.
eventually it became a mixed bag of people putting it together. So, but is that pretty much your impressions then?
Uh, for now, yes.
Hey, what about you, Tammy? Was this a first time watch for you?
Oh yeah, I hadn't seen this before. I had only seen the other one. Um, I wasn't sure what to think of it at first going into it, but because I'm not, not into. I thought it was, Japanese anime, which is not something I'm totally into. But I thought it was fun. I really liked Icarus, the little guy.
Ah,
He was so cute.
yes,
He was like a little flying squirrel, right?
Yep.
Basically.
yes.
So yeah, I really liked him. Um, you know, um, it didn't strike me as what I was actually expecting for Japanese anime. It didn't. It didn't. To me, it didn't seem like other ones that I've seen. So maybe that's why I enjoyed it more. I don't know. Um, but I did. I thought it was a lot of fun, and you know, um, there was definitely a lot of adventure in it and everything. So yeah.
Okay. And I have a lot of nostalgia for this particular film. Maybe more so because I was so much into the game, which was heavily based off of this animation. But it went weirder. I mean, if you like weird games, I like weird games, and it was a weird freaking game. And now I didn't remember like three-fourths of this while I was watching it, but as I was watching it, I was remembering it, and I was remembering it with fun. Because I do remember getting a kick out of Icarus, and I do remember getting a kick out of the Oompas. Um, the the creatures that they came across in the nightmare world. And those things are fun. Um, and I remember thinking that the princess was quite a bitch while I was watching it this time around. Like when I was a kid, I didn't really really care, and I wasn't sure what to think. I was still learning what girls were.
Oh,
When I first watched this. Now as an adult, and I see the intro to her. She was quite a bitch when she first met Nemo.
well, at first, yes, but later I would say she kind of redeemed herself.
Yeah, I would say so, but at first I didn't care for her.
Well,
uh,
I can understand that.
but um, and maybe she came off too strong, um, as like too rude, too princessy. But in any case, I enjoy this film for what it is. I can see where they got bits and pieces of doing the live action from it, but they definitely strayed a lot from the source material. If you get my drift, um, I mean, little Nemo does not look like a girl, does he?
No.
No,
So, um,
well,
and his parents didn't die. You know,
uh, yeah, well, if they had only changed the gender, that would have really annoyed me, I must say. But truth be told, they changed a lot and really took the story in their own direction. So,
yep.
uh,
But
yeah.
in any case, I enjoy the film for what it is. I mean, I get it. They had to, at the end of the day, edit it harshly in order to get that G rating, because they had to keep it family friendly in order to get it into the U.S. markets at the time. And this
Oh,
was the first Japanese animated movie that made it overseas internationally.
oh,
So this had a first. It says on Wikipedia that it was the first animation to hit the U.S. Markets and have a worldwide release. You know, even though it took like several years after the Japanese release, to get to theaters.
wait, now when you said they heavily edited it, does that mean the Japanese version that isn't dubbed in English, that it's significantly different from
Oh
this
no,
one?
it's as complete as it should be. I mean, it happened earlier that they edited it, but it's been the release that you saw. It has the bits edited back in. So,
Huh.
but I'm not even sure what they actually edited just to get the film cut to the specifications that they needed. But um, it is what it is, and happened the way it did. I mean, the way that they had to do things back then, just to get it past like censors, and in order to get it to have a theatrical run, they had many hoops to jump through. So,
Okay.
but let's go into the plot. So Little Nemo, he's a boy, and it's obvious that and his parents are kind of like in the background. It's not even about his parents, you know. But apparently, uh, his dad seems to be like this really busy man. He's an office guy, you know, and he seems to be busy. And he seems to be having these dreams, which involve him sleepwalking too. Um, and he gets a royal invitation from the king of Slumberland land to come to Slumberland and meet the king. And I guess there was a royal entourage and a professor dude who I guess he was invited by the princess per se, say, but also by the king himself to come to Slumberland for some royal thing. And I believe that was on the second night of his dreaming. I think the first night he had like kind of a nightmare, didn't he?
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, and one scene from the live action version was based on it. I recognize that.
Ah.
yeah, he had like a nightmare and he even fell out of bed.
Yep. And
Yeah.
his mom thinks that he's having these nightmares because he keeps eating her pies, if I remember correctly.
Yep, because he shouldn't be eating that before he goes to bed or whatever. That way.
Which kind of goes and flow in mind with you know the whole concept of while he's in Slumberland, because when he actually gets to Slumberland, he's told, and when he finally meets the king, he's told that he wants him to become heir to his throne and become a little prince of Slumberland, and he is tasking him with, you know, being the royal protector of Slumberland, and he gives him this key that's in the shape of a serpent or a dragon, and he tells him, promise me, that if you ever come across a door with that symbol on it, never open
Yeah, sounds a bit like a reference to the story of Adam and Eve.
it. But there's a lot that goes into how he even meets the king, because he doesn't meet the king outright. When he gets to the palace, the king is missing. So, but it just so happens that every so often he keeps bumping into a character by the name of Flip. And Flip is a frog in a tweed. Look,
Oh,
a
yeah.
cigar smoking frog in a tweed. At least that's how I've always kind of termed him. But now he is voiced by Mickey Rooney. Mickey Rooney, if you know anything about him, when he was young, he would often get paired with Judy Garland in quite a few movies. Um, and I remember him being in the Twilight Zone episode about him and he was always a short guy. So and I think he was also one of the Little Rascals, maybe one of the original Little Rascals. But in any case, he uh, he was in an episode of the Twilight Zone where he wanted to be big, and he became a big man or whatnot, too big. But I also remember Mickey Rooney in the Night at the Museum before movies before he died. But any case, what do y'all think of the character of Flip? He's got the map to both worlds, Nightmare and Slumberland, and he's kind of a trickster.
Oh yes, definitely. Truth be told, I think I until much later into the movie, I wasn't sure if he was going to be a villain or a good guy. In the end, I think
He's a little
they
bit of
let him.
both.
Yeah, at the end they let him off the hook a little too easily, in my opinion. I mean, he caused a lot of trouble. At least they should have gotten an apology from him, at least.
Yep, and we have the voice talents here of Gabriel Damon, Mickey Rooney, as we aforementioned, Renee Auberjonois. Oh, Renee Auberjonois, the Professor Genius, the skinny dude who ended up dancing a jig with the king.
Yeah,
Do you remember Odo on Deep Space Nine?
Whew.
kind of.
Uh, he was the voice of him.
Okay.
And then Danny Mann played the voice of Icarus. Princess Camille was Laura Mooney Hubert. Bernard Earhart was King Morpheus. Bill Martin was the Nightmare King. Alan Oppenheimer was Oomp. Michael Bell was Oompy. Sidney Miller was Oompe. And Neil Ross was Oompa. And
Whew.
John Stevenson was Oompo. So those were
What a
the
bunch of
thingies.
names.
Those were the thingies. Oomp, Oompy, Oompe, Oompa, and Oopo.
And where are the Oompa Loompas?
Uh, that's what I'm thinking. And I do have to say the boat that they went to Nightmare Land in kind of reminded me of the boat that Willy Wonka traveled along the Chocolate River with in order to get them to their final destination where the everlasting gobstopper was being made. Didn't it? Kinda.
A little bit.
And
Yeah.
to be fair and honest, if you're thinking about it, while they were on that boat ride with Willy Wonka, weren't they seeing nightmarish creatures?
Yes.
So the other thing I was thinking about is the movie The Matrix. Remember, it was Morpheus who was looking for Nemo.
I didn't like the Matrix movies.
I did. I did.
I
And
didn't
that's
get
all
it.
that counts.
Yeah, the name definitely reminded me of the Matrix.
Well, Morpheus was the name of the guy looking for Nemo. So to me, I think that that movie was influenced by this movie. So, but I also think that Alice in Wonderland was also kind of a thing. But in any case, That being said, going back to the animation, the entourage shows up to invite Nemo and he gets there. The king is missing, and that's when Flip shows up for first time and tells him how he loves to have fun, and somehow he tumbles down into to a room where the king is playing with this giant train set, and he basically little Nemo tells him how to fix it, and that's how they kind of
And then they go
bond.
for a ride all over the place.
Correct. And so does
that like one heck of a ride too.
and so does little Icarus.
Right.
And once they get done with the ride, that's when he is brought to the by the professor to meet the princess, where the princess.
That's what he finds out too, that he's been riding the train with the king.
Correct. Oh, Your Majesty. But he meets with the Princess Camille, and Camille is quite the critic.
You're in your underwear. No, these are pajamas. I am not in my underwear.
Right.
So, they have that argument, and then she calls the flying squirrel a rat.
Right.
And then he accidentally calls him the rat, and he gets all offended, and so he jumps around and gets offended.
Poor squirrel.
Ultimately, the squirrel becomes endearing to both of them, and then they end up going off and enjoying Slumberland together, which I feel like that was a quick switch from being bitch to best friend.
Kinda.
It was like a okay, on switch, off switch, and it actually looked like the princess actually was enjoying being a kind of a kid, you know.
They both looked like they were having fun. Yes.
So, and then what happens next? Trying to remember. I know that ultimately he meets up with Flip again somehow.
Oh, when they get back, he goes through the whole thing of what he's supposed to do as being a prince.
Oh yeah, the etiquette.
Etiquette.
That's
yes.
right.
The eating and the dancing, and that big old lady dancing with him.
Oh yeah.
Her tits were falling out of her dress, but
he was kind of smashed in between them.
And the professor got to dance with her too. But there were all kinds of people, and that's how you when you feel about teachers teaching you things. I would call this like an animated montage, because it quickly went through like all these freaking teachers that were all there to teach him how to quickly become a prince. You know, and I mean, there was a fencing teacher and a dance teacher and an English teacher, and you know, there's a lot that goes into how to be a prince and learning etiquette, like the ways to eat, the ways to sit back, sit up. Eat
Yeah.
properly. Don't slouch. All those things that you don't really want to do, but you do anyway, anyways because you're in polite company. When you have to go and have dinner with other people, you can't dress like a slob. You can't dress like a scrub.
Uh, in all honesty, those rules are stupid, and there is no practical reason why they should exist.
Oh, so that means show up in a loincloth cloth, and use no utensils and slurp your food and chew as loud as you want
Well,
and come looking like your hair had a yard sale with the clampets.
What are you
well, okay.
talking about, David? That's the way you look all the time.
Some basic decency makes sense, but all these exaggerations, so royal people and blah blah, that's just pointless torture for them to learn.
Oh, so that means I can come to the table butt ass naked.
Well, okay, I didn't quite say that, although, truth be told, it would be hilarious if you did that.
Not
uh,
really.
but in any case, but he learns a bit, even though he definitely looks like by the end of it that he's had enough of it. And that's when I think he runs into Flip again. And Flip basically tells him that he basically has fun, and he shows him his wanted poster, and I think what they do is they go to the Royal Police Station, and all the police dudes are actually like asleep, and he fucks with them.
Right.
And by this time, and by this time, has he been given? Yes, he has been given. He's been given this key that has the symbol of a serpent on it. That if he ever sees a door with that symbol on it, never to open it, and that is what he's protecting the city of Slumberland from. So, he has been given that key already, and Flip doesn't know anything about this, but when they tiptoe past the police guards and actually get chased by them quite a bit, they end up in the floor underground, and they run into the door, I do believe.
Yeah. Well, truth be told, it would have helped if the king had explained to Nemo why he shouldn't open that door and what there is behind it. This way, he just got him curious about it.
Right, and then Flip, eggs him on.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
Flip is that kind of a person that you want to trust, but you really shouldn't.
He was kind of
Kind of
like the serpent.
you want to like them, and you want to be their friend, but you really shouldn't let your guard down and listen to them.
That's
Because everyone has that kind of friend,
actually, yes, that's very much true.
that friend that often gets you in trouble, but you like being with them anyways.
Kind of, yeah. I do have one friend we could say that about.
But have you ever had that kind of friend, Tammy?
Yeah,
Who was that for you?
Pam.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She's dead, unfortunately.
Oh, oh, my condolences. I didn't know.
Yeah. Things got I didn't even know her. So don't feel bad, but things
But Scott could be interesting to be out and about with, though, too.
oh, he tended to like the skirt trouble.
No, just because he doesn't have a filter on that mouth of his.
Ah. So if he thankfully he's always said it in the right polite company.
No.
Oh, so if he was ever around said culture and they heard him, he wouldn't give a shit.
Usually not. Usually he kind of watches who's around him, but somewhat. But sometimes he does it on purpose. Like, when he's up north and he's told me about the like Richie people that those are the ones that basically have the cabins up there,
Mm-hmm.
and they come in like the bar or wherever and they act all this way and that, and he's made comments when they've been in there and he doesn't care. He does not care at all if they hear him, you know.
Mm.
So
Interesting.
Well,
yes, very interesting and very interesting.
could you imagine him being Flip?
Oh yeah.
Cigar smoking, Matt toting, tweed wearing Flip.
Oh, you don't have to have all the little eccentric things, but he does smoke cigarettes, but I don't think he would be as a flamboyant. But yes, I can see him in some ways being Flip. Most definitely.
Okay, so what do y'all think about Flip as a character?
Interesting. Um,
Uh,
yes, like you were saying, he gets you into trouble.
In fact,
Um,
they were going to send him off in a cannonball into space.
I do think he was interesting, but at the same time, he was a bit of an asshole. Like, when they found out that door had been opened, he just tried to frame it entirely on Nemo and completely. Uh, he pretended it wasn't him who had persuaded Nemo into it in the first place. Like he was just going to throw him under the bus when it was really his fault.
Well, yeah, because after. And I do remember that they were flying on what this giant bird,
yeah, this old bird
this
that didn't
old
even want to
bird, and
want to get off the ground. They had to push it like like a car. They had to like push it to get it going.
and Nemo thought that they were flying over buildings when they were in fact flying over fireworks.
Which they set off.
Yeah, which is why they ran and eventually ended up uh, where this door is now. So they do open the door a crack, but once they see what was in it, they quickly shut it. And well, Flip has had enough, and he's and he leaves first. And unfortunately, Nemo has to leave the key in the door. And then, of course, once Nemo gets back, he's, I guess it's part of his coronation.
Why does he have to leave the key in the door?
Because he can't reach it by himself. He can't reach it by himself. It was Flip who held him up to put it in there to begin with.
Oh, that's right. But because I forgot about that part because he was running back to go try and get the key.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so how is he gonna get it if he can't reach it?
Correct. But it was a stupid thing to try to go back anyways. But at least he thought about it, you know.
Right.
I mean, he was. I bet you he was also feeling guilty about it too. Like the fact that he was crowning him, and he was putting all this faith in him, and you know, and then Flip was trying to get him to hand him the scepter. It's like Flip just couldn't stop, right?
Yeah.
Well, I believe eventually once Nemo comes of age, then he'll be the protector of the scepter. But while he can't just leave the professor to outdance him, he goes and joins him on the dance floor, and well, the Nightmare King comes out, and unfortunately, he is unable to get the scepter to the King of Slumberland in time, in order to help him. And then, of course, everyone starts to point the finger at Nemo, and that's when he wakes up. And he realizes he's got the scepter with him, and I think that's also when he tries to take the pie again.
Yeah, he's sleepwalking, and I think he wakes up when his mom takes the pie back, but he acts like he's still sleepwalking.
Yeah, that was good. That was good acting on his part. But
Right.
ultimately, once he gets back,
Also, like a little thing to remember about this too is before he started this big adventure, when he went to bed, he had been asking his father to take him to the circus that was in town. And his father's like, "Yep, yeah, tomorrow, yep, yep," and he was pushing it off. And there was even a note on where the pie was kept in that cupboard about don't forget about tomorrow. So he went into this dream being disappointed with his father.
Yep. He was very disappointed when his father told him no, and he's used to his father just putting things off till the next day, and he's told his father, "Hey, you told me that before, and it's never happened." So it's obvious that the father is all work and no play at this moment.
All work and no play makes Jack a dumb boy.
Oh, you remember that, huh?
Yes, did I quote it correctly?
I don't know, but you might be shining.
Nice.
Anyways, let's move forward. So ultimately, he I do believe that he makes the bed go out into the what he thinks is the world of Slumberland, and he comes across the professor, who is evidently out on the seas, and he tells him, the professor tells him, "We've been looking everywhere for you." And he's like, "We don't blame you. Blame you. That was all on Flip." And he's like, "No, I take ownership. I open the door, but I do aim to go get the king." And he's like, but you will never be able to do that. No one knows where the scepter is." And he was like, "Well, wait a minute. I've got the scepter right here." He's like, "Brilliant. Let's go."
Does anyone other than me feel that Flip was forgiven too easily? Like, at least
Well,
they should have.
unfortunately, they had to make a deal with the devil because he had the map to Nightmare Land, and he at least uh, pretty much got them there. But once he got there, he didn't realize his ink was going to wash away, that easily.
Oh, right.
Which is why I'm glad that they ran into to the Oompas.
Yes.
Yeah, them guys were interesting.
Oh, yeah, for a moment I thought they might be some deceivers, but they turned out good in the end.
Yeah, they did, and they were cute. Um,
Yeah.
they're like a nightmarish barbershop quartet, except they were a quintet because they were five.
Was there five of them?
Yep, there were four of them at first, and they said that they were there was one more of them that was still locked up in the Nightmare Castle,
Ah,
And that
and
they were going back to try and rescue him.
correct. And
So
when
they would.
Nemo woke up the next time, that's when they ran into him, and he had a message from the king, and the message from the king was actually the words to
Activate the scepter.
correct. So there was that, and ultimately, I do think when they navigated the world of the night of the night the nightmare castle, and how dark it was, and when you actually met the nightmare king, and the flying stingray, I thought that was kind of cool. A
yes.
giant flying stingray, especially since I sleep with a stuffed animal stingray.
Oh, well, truth be told, I see nothing wrong with that. If some people like it, they can like it for one reason or another. It's not a reason to make fun of someone, at least not without hearing them out and finding out the story behind it first.
I I just end up liking holding on to onto something soft while I'm sleeping. That's all. So,
And there is nothing wrong with that.
especially when the thing has wings and it wraps around my entire body and makes me feel comfy.
Oh,
But I also have an octopus that sometimes I sleep with too. So,
and wait, what kind of toy is it with wings that wrap around you?
oh, it's a stuffed animal stingray,
Ah,
a
I have
giant
a
stuff.
I have a moose.
She's got a moose.
nice.
Yeah, I found that at that Nunion's bargains place.
Cool.
But in any case, yeah, there's a place that resells things like stuff that never gets to people from Amazon and through the mail, and they end up getting things to resell. I've gotten a few things from there from time to time.
Cool.
I think the best thing I got from there was this karaoke machine thing that pretty much looks like a microphone. It's
And the
kind of
moose.
cool. That and the moose. So you really like that
Nice.
moose, huh?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know because I don't see you sleeping with it that often. But in any case, so yeah, ultimately, these Oompas, they tell them that they know how to get to the castle and know how to get how to find their king, and they're chased by the Nightmare King, and in on the bed, and they know that like the secret passage, and unfortunately, the Nightmare King knows how to get little Nemo to react, and he reacts when he sees his friends uh, basically being toyed with by the Nightmare King, and he keeps goading little Nemo, no, telling him that they are now part of his collection, and so he takes the scepter, and he takes the words that he's already learned, and he basically cuts down the giant stingray, cuts off one of dude's claws, and ultimately, I guess in the end, he ends up destroying him.
Hmm.
But there, I mean, there was a little bit of a battle. A battle of basically wits. Uh,
Oh yeah.
his words he was basically trying to tell him, hey, just give over the scepter to me, and I will let you go. But there's no promise of letting any of his friends go or anything like that. And
Right.
and all we know is that the word pajama is in
Pajama.
the fucking
Pajama.
pajama, Shazama, or whatever. So we don't really even know the full like scepter chant. But he's trying to
Not yet.
read it.
Yeah.
He's trying
Little
to read it
Icarus
from
is
his
trying to
Icarus
hold it
friend.
for him.
Yep. But in any case, he does eventually win out over the Nightmare King, and I think the King of Slumberland says you pretty much destroyed him forever. Um, and it looks like he does. He does eventually. It's like the king of Slumberland never lost faith in Nemo. You
Right.
become quite the prince, is what he tells him towards the end. So, is there anything else that I have not mentioned that maybe should be mentioned about this movie?
Well, when they go to, when he goes, that he's gonna go look for the king, and the
Yeah.
bed takes off. That's similar to the other movie with the bed walking around and everything like that.
Oh yeah, that's
Then
right.
it flies. So that is kind of similar to the other movie.
Yes, but I remember it flying for most of the through most of the movie. I didn't remember it walking at all. So when I saw it walk, I was like, okay, that's where they got that. But they only did it like three quarters of the way into the movie. So the fact that that they used that as the way to make the bed move in the remake. I guess they couldn't make the bed fly, you know. But it worked for its movie. This worked for either or. And I'm kind of glad that the Oompas came back with them to some Slumberland. I thought that was kind of cool. You get to see them entertain and whatnot, and little Nemo actually gets to kiss the girl.
Uh,
Although at first he was like, "Ew." It was like he almost didn't want to.
right.
No, but then he finally did, and that was cute.
Yeah. So, and then of
Indeed.
course he wakes up and tells his mom that he's had a good dream, and she's like, "Yeah, it looks like you did have a good dream. You didn't fall out of the bed this time."
Yeah.
And then his
Although,
father pops in and he's like, "Are you ready to go?" He's like, "What do you mean? Didn't we plan on going to the circus today?" Oh, that reminds me. Some of Little Nemo's dialogue reminded me of Ralphie's little brother in A Christmas Story. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie.
I'm not sure. Can you remind me what it's about? Maybe I did see it, but I'm not sure.
What? Okay, we're gonna have to do that one in July.
Ah, the summer Christmas.
Well, yeah, Christmas in July.
Yeah.
We'll have to do that one in July. I won't mind doing it because we haven't done it here on this channel, and unfortunately, it is one that I have gotten sick of because what they do is they do a 24-hour marathon of just that movie on one particular channel. And
Well, yeah, it's usually a couple channels now.
yeah, it's usually a couple channels now, but they play it over and over and over.
And your family likes to have it on.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, but I don't get I get sick of it easily. Just because my family overplays it. And I guess I'm kind of glad that I'm not around that part of the family to enjoy that aspect of the family. But oftentimes when we were up at my grandma and grandpa's, they would put that darn thing on, and that's all that they would play. And
Even
it's
at
like,
your other not Grandma Grace, the other grandma that passed away.
yeah, that one.
When we were there, yeah, they had it on there too.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, but I don't like watching the same movie over and over and over and over and over.
Didn't Aunt Wanda play it all the time too?
Yeah.
I can sometimes do that with some movies, but not many of them.
Well, it's
Well,
just it's just one
my
of the
cousin
cable channels
and
plays it, you know,
my
and
cousin would turn to me and be like, every time I see this, I see something different. I'm like,
Yes. There actually are some movies we can say that about.
I mean, it's classic and it's so 80s, but there's only so much of one movie I can take. But other than that, this that is little Nemo Adventures in Wonderland. If you haven't seen the film, go out and see it. I know it's on Prime right now. It's also on YouTube. For those of you who like the English dub, and I plan on picking it up for real soon. It's just I've spent a lot of money lately, so um, gonna plan on picking it up fairly soon, though, because I need it in my collection. Just because. Um, is there anything else that anyone wants to add before we end this discussion?
no.
Well, there is only one thing, maybe not entirely related to this movie, that I would like to say, but it's kind of a tragic coincidence that we did a Japanese movie this weekend because 2 days ago my favorite Japanese writer Koji Suzuki, the author of the Ring novel series, he died.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah, I found out today.
Oh,
that's
well,
too.
yeah, that is too bad. Oh, did you see the hoot hoot in the very beginning of the movie?
Oh yes, yes, I did.
I was hoping
Nice
that
one.
I just remembered that there was an owl as like as he went into Slumberland or whatever, or was it when he went was flying through the air?
uh, Yeah, I'm not sure. It was really quite near the beginning,
Yep,
and quite shortly after the beginning.
yep.
And yeah, I have a very sharp eye for owls.
Yeah, you would, you squab. But
Squab!
in any case, well, let us go through favorites. And I did mention that the music was done by the Sherman Brothers,
Yes.
which they are very well known for a lot of things. Not just the Mary Poppins stuff, and I was looking into seeing what other things that they were responsible for, and they were responsible for a lot. Um, but in any case, favorite scenes and or favorite characters. Let's start with you, Tammy.
My favorite character is Icarus.
Okay.
So cute. And then he makes,
Yeah, he reminds me of little Abu in Aladdin.
kind of.
Um,
My favorite scene, I got a couple. I like it when you first meet the Boombas. Well, I
the
mean, when they're trying to
Oompas.
Oompas, when they're trying to tell everybody that they're not bad goblins, and they do their whole little dance and
That's
everything.
right, they are Boombas.
Yes, um, I I like that, because they're basically winning everybody over by explaining who they are and what they are,
Did you
and that
see
they're not.
did you see the creature from the Black Lagoon and his brothers?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then I like when Nemo meets the king, and he doesn't know it's the king though, and they're riding around on the train. Yeah.
okay. Um, how about you, Boris?
Uh, I think my favorite character is also Icarus, also because he is really cute. I would like to mention Pig from the live action version here because, yeah, Pig was apparently a replacement for Icarus. I'm not sure why they made that change, but I kind of like both of them. Icarus is cuter, but Pig was funnier, so yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I really
Yeah.
like. Yeah. Uh, and my favorite scene. Oh, let's see. It's kind of difficult to choose, but I think maybe the scene when the Boombas appeared, it was really funny with them.
Okay.
The battle with the Nightmare King was also good, of course. I mean, it was the combination of the movie.
Okay. And I'm going to have to go with the Boombas as my favorite characters. Icarus was okay. He was cute. But he didn't really speak. He was more of a noisemaker.
Yeah, the
Uh,
Boombas didn't like it when he spoke.
it
It hurt their ears when he was trying to do stuff.
reminds me of your reaction whenever you hear a high pitched sound. But in any case, that being said, I enjoy the movie for what it is. I'm glad I was able to come on with you guys about this movie. I guess I like it more than I thought I did, and even though I didn't remember half of it, I remembered it as I was watching it, so it was nostalgic for me, for sure. And limited run, get the fuck on, remaking the game, the Little Nemo Dream Master. We need them to port that game out to other avenues so that we can play it on other platforms. So get on it. In any case, that being said, everyone say
Wait, wait,
good
wait, wait,
night.
wait, wait.
Good night,
What?
everyone.
Um, Boris is next week, right?
Yep.
Yes, that's
Did
right.
and did you want to do that Japanese animation that you spoke of?
I am kind of thinking about it. I also had another idea, something entirely different from what we've been doing. Uh, I was I was considering a horror movie from 1965 called Repulsion. A good friend of mine recommended me that one,
Okay.
but
Well,
I also haven't seen this new pair of Sailor Moon movies. Oh yeah, I also suggested that the English dub of that old Sailor Moon movie. So yeah, now I'm not sure what would you prefer, an older horror movie or a Sailor Moon movie dubbed to English?
I would say as a older horror movie, and then we'll see what happens next after. Repulsion.
Yeah, from
You
19.
would now. Is it easy to get a hold of?
I have to look for it. Haven't tried to find it yet,
Well,
but
why don't you try to find it first and see, and if you do, send a copy over to me by Wednesday.
oh, fair enough. I will look for it.
Alrighty.
Well, we'll look
Well,
for it too to see if it's on what we have.
yep. I know I
Sorry,
don't
what did
have.
you say,
I know
Tammy?
I don't, and we'll look for it too. That's what she said,
Ah,
to see if it's on anything that we have.
whew. Apparently it came out on Blu-ray at some point.
Repulsion.
What?
You said repulsion.
Yes.
Repulsion.
Ha, it's a black and white movie. I didn't even realize that. Didn't expect that recommendation from this friend of mine. Interesting.
Okay. Let's see. Repulsion.
Hmm.
Let's see. But in any case, everyone say good night.
Good
Good night,
night.
everyone.
See you next week.
Yep. Yep.
Oh yeah.